She was a young woman in a country where boundaries were clear, but Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw accepted no limits. At a time when the dream of becoming a biotech entrepreneur seemed impossible, she went beyond expectations, breaking barriers and defying the odds. A woman in an empire of men, and her journey a true revolution. Are you ready to discover how she transformed a simple dream into a billion-dollar multinational? Kiran was born in Bangalore, a vibrant city, but also a reflection of a country where women were rarely seen in fields like science and entrepreneurship. In the 1970s, India was a place where opportunities for women were limited, particularly in male-dominated fields like biotechnology and the corporate sector. At a time when expectations for women were strict and the scientific world seemed closed to them, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw emerged. She wasn't born with a golden or easy path. She grew up in a society where women were expected to follow conventional patterns of marriage and family. But Kiran wasn't content with that. With a degree in science, Kiran believed that education was the key to changing her reality. But what she didn't know was that her journey would challenge her in ways few could imagine. And contrary to what many thought, she wouldn't let herself be stopped by obstacles that seemed insurmountable. Images of Kiran looking out the window at the city, dreaming of something bigger. In 1978, a seemingly simple idea began to grow within her. An idea that would not only challenge the norms of the time, but also set in motion something that would forever change the future of biotechnology in India. Creating a biotechnology company in a country where the industry was still in its infancy seemed like an impossible task. With little money and a market saturated with challenges, she began her journey. It was a world where few believed a woman could achieve such feats, and yet she didn't fear adversity. What she did have was a clear vision and an inner fire. She was about to launch Biocon, a company that would one day become the world leader in biotechnology. But how could someone with next to nothing truly change the global biotechnology landscape? With innovation, resilience, and courage, Kiran made a decision that would alter the fate not only of herself but of many around her. She started not with a fortune, but with something more valuable, a belief in the power of science and innovation. What would keep you going when everyone around you doubts your abilities? When the eyes around you tell you that you're incapable, that your dreams are impossible, and that the road ahead is full of insurmountable obstacles? When the world around you tells you that you don't belong, that you don't have the right to dream big, what keeps you going? What keeps you going when all the winds seem to be blowing against you? In a world full of doubts and obstacles, who are we to keep going when adversity presses in? What would keep you going when every step seems like a superhuman effort? The answer lies in something far more powerful than all the expectations around you. She didn't follow through because the world believed in her. She followed through because she believed in herself. Because her dream wasn't an empty promise. It was a silent revolution that began with a single step, even when no one believed she could. And it was this unwavering faith that made her surpass expectations. It was this determination that made her ignore the no's and listen only to the yeses that came from within. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw didn't just challenge the world, she made the impossible a reality. Now, imagine turning your vision into reality, even when the odds are stacked against you. If you're inspired by this story, please like and subscribe, because what follows will change the way you view the power of entrepreneurship and innovation. Stay tuned, because you're about to discover the secrets of one of biotechnology's most powerful stories. What did Kiran do next? She didn't stop. Despite the obstacles, she never lost her grand vision. The humility with which she began her journey didn't stop her from dreaming big, very big. Biocon started small, with a simple fermentation facility and limited resources. But greatness was never in the conditions, it was in the dream. Biocon, which started small, soon began to grow. It invested in innovation, first with enzyme production. But it didn't stop there. Kiran understood that the future lay in biotechnology and its ability to transform medicine, not just as a business, but as a tool for healing and transformation for millions of lives. And what seemed like a risky bet soon turned out to be one of the industry's greatest revolutions. Biocon not only established itself in the market, but also mastered the production of innovative medicines, including recombinant insulin, changing diabetes treatment forever. But Kiran's true power lay not just in her scientific discoveries. It was in her ability to challenge a system that said women like her shouldn't be there. Biocon wasn't just a company, it was a movement. Kiran wasn't just innovating in the lab, she was breaking down barriers in a male-dominated market, challenging the idea that women don't belong in positions of power and leadership. She proved that gender doesn't matter. What matters is the strength of your vision and the power of your ideas. And with that, she earned a respected place among the biggest giants in the global pharmaceutical industry. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw not only broke the barriers of biotechnology, but also reinvented the role of women in the corporate world. She became a leader, a visionary, an inspiration to millions, proving that true power lies in not accepting the limits the world tries to impose on us. And Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw's legacy, it's not just the Biocon empire, but the paradigm shift she created, the shift that affirmed that women, especially bold and visionary ones, can indeed change the world. Kiran knew that the future of medicine lay not just in scientific discoveries, but in something deeper, making medicine accessible to all. She knew that true change would only come when life-changing innovations could reach those who needed them most, without restrictions of social class or geography. It was with this vision that Kiran, with her tireless determination, led Biocon to a revolution in the treatment of complex and chronic diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and autoimmune diseases. Biocon wasn't just creating medicines, it was opening doors to new treatments, new healing concepts, and a new model for global health. But Kiran didn't do it alone. No revolution is made by a single person. She knew that her success depended on her ability to bring together the best minds around her. And that's how she built a network of highly qualified professionals, scientists, researchers, and visionaries who share her passion for innovating and transforming medicine. Kiran didn't just bring together the best scientists and physicians. She built something even more important, a culture of trust and innovation within Biocon. A culture where ideas were not only heard, but valued, where every employee knew their work had a greater purpose. It wasn't just science, it was transforming lives. And that's what made Biocon unique. It wasn't just a company, it was a transformational movement, led by a woman who knew that true leadership isn't about power, but about empowering others to achieve the impossible. She didn't just create a company, she created a legacy of innovation and commitment to global health. And with that, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw became not just a leader in biotechnology, but a symbol that true change comes from within, from a courageous vision and the will to make a difference in the world. And Kiran didn't stop there. She knew that true impact isn't limited to just one industry or field. Her success story wasn't just a story of innovation in biotechnology, but a powerful example of female leadership that transcended borders and inspired women around the world. Her leadership vision spread, becoming a transformative force that changed the way the world viewed women in entrepreneurship and science. Kiran became more than a leader in biotechnology. She became a global leader, a symbol of resilience, and a source of inspiration for all women in any field who face obstacles, doubts, and challenges. She proved clearly and undeniably that women don't need to conform to the limits imposed by society. On the contrary, they can use those limits as fuel for something extraordinary. She turned what seemed impossible into reality. Where many saw a male-dominated industry, Kiran saw an opportunity to break barriers and rewrite the rules. She not only challenged the norms of biotechnology, but also social norms, showing that women have the power to revolutionize any field. And it was this courage, this tireless perseverance, that transformed Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw into a clear example that, with courage and innovation, any obstacle can be overcome. She became a reflection that, despite the difficulties, skepticism, and barriers, true strength lies in our ability to persist and believe that we can change the world. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw didn't just build a billion-dollar company. She built a movement that empowers women to dream big and act boldly. She showed the world that perseverance, courage, and innovation can not only change an industry, but also the entire world. If this story resonated with you, if you felt that the impossible can be achieved, then you're on the right path. Every step you take toward your dreams is one step closer to changing the world, just like Kiran did. Her journey isn't just hers, it's ours too. And now, the next step is to keep learning, exploring, challenging the barriers society imposes, and believing that there's no limit to what we can achieve. Subscribe to discover more stories like this, where overcoming obstacles and innovation aren't just words, but ways of life. Together, we'll go further, building a future where everyone, regardless of who we are or where we come from, can achieve the impossible. Don't wait any longer to be part of this change. The next step starts now.